So I'd like to welcome our next speaker, so Annie Meredith. And Annie's been working at the cutting edge of mind-body medicine for 43 years as a lecturer, a Chinese medicine practitioner, healer and author. Annie has long focused on vibrational healing tools for promoting healing. Author of 2 books, Essence of Women, in which she explored women's health and well-being from both an energetic and physical perspective, and Spirit of Women, in which she outlined the Spirit of Women flower essence range she developed in 2009. So Annie offers practical, emotional and spiritual tools for people to use in their everyday lives to enhance their journey of self-awareness and self-empowerment. Working now in conjunction with her 2 daughters, Ananda Mahoney and Grace Meredith, she now offers her range of powerful healing gifts under the Heart Radiance Australian Wildflower Essences label, as potent adjuncts to natural medicine practice and safe, easily self-prescribed tools for those seeking emotional and mental well-being. Please join me in welcoming Annie. Thanks, Annie.
Oh, hello and welcome, and thank you so much for being here today for this presentation. What I'm hoping to do today, or what I'd love to do today, is to introduce you to the notion of energetic diagnosis and treatment. But each and every one of you, I will give you will say to you straight away, each and every one of you can do exactly what I'm going to talk about. You do it naturally anyway. But when we just have a look at it and see, and it becomes conscious, something that's actually conscious, we can use it very well in our clinics for all sorts of treatment outcomes, because it gives us a treatment path. Let's have a little look and see where we go. So the concept of vibrational medicine, it's seen here. It's described as a complex, as human beings, as networks of complex energy fields that interface with physical and cellular systems. So, in other words, it's the background, it's the energetic template for everything that's physical in our body. So it stands to reason that that's where we target a lot of our treatments. With vibrational medicine treatments, then uses specialised forms of energy to positively affect those energetic systems that may be out of balance due to disease states. And we're going to talk about how that happens in a moment. So, for a long time, researchers have known that thoughts and emotions affect our physical body, and they affect the rhythms of the body and the behaviours that we engage in. For example, we know that anxious thoughts will trigger the release of stress hormones that then in fact will impact on the physical system. And we know also on the other side that the sound vibrations of soothing music will calm the energy system and calm us down. It's a wonderful way to actually come into a state of balance. So vibrational energy therapists, as I said before, use specialised energy systems or strategies to speed up, slow down, bring back into harmony any of those vibrations that are out of balance at the cellular and atomic levels. So we see changing these nano vibrations, very fine vibrations, positively affects our emotional and our mental states, and then indeed our physical state as well. So it's like a ratchet down. Our attitude to life drives our emotions, and our emotions then, as energy in motion, feed into our cellular systems and our functional systems and assist or disrupt our physical functioning. So very important to understand that this is a wonderful place to start treatment from. So if we can demonstrate the energy field, and I'm going to ask for a volunteer, sorry, to come up, because I'm going to use a set of dowsing rods. Nothing, no tricks, just plain rods, and I'm going to actually just hold them over my finger like that. Very lightly secure them so that I don't move them, so that I don't affect their movement. And then I'm going to show you something or demonstrate something. Now, first of all, I'm going to start off by demonstrating how these rods will read or let us know about energy. So if I place my rods this way, while I'm facing the curtain, can you see them? Can you see them? They're just in a parallel line. If I move around this way, okay, we get them swinging out. They're picking up the energy field, the combined, powerful, collective energy field of each and every one of you that's sitting here. But I'm going to ask one of you to be it. Lovely. Now, can you see if I work over this side? You might have to stand up. So, what's your name? Kate. Kate, hello Kate. So first of all, Kate, I'm going to get you to stand back there a bit. And I'm going to move towards you, and I'm going to, it might be better if you just move a little bit over that, because we don't want to be affected by that. That's right. So I'm going to move towards you, and we're going to see where Kate actually really ends and really begins. To all intents and purposes, you look at her, and she ends at the skin. You gotta have skin to keep your insides in. But that's not actually where she's ending. And we're going to see that. So let's walk towards Kate.
Me towards you?
Yeah, no, I'm walking towards you. You stay there. So here we go. Here's where the lovely Kate ends. And as soon as I do this, I'm actually impacting and affecting Kate. Okay, so there we go. Now, what I'd love to do, Kate, if you're willing, what I'd love to do is to show you how emotions, and in the last two presentations I talked about, that I did with Andrew, I talked about how different emotions affect the energy field, and fear has the effect of contracting, pulls the energy field in. Let's look at that. Let's actually observe it, because we're working with unseen energy here. But we can see it using the dowsing rods. So I'm going to ask you, Kate, if you would remember, just hold in your mind, that means it's going to impact your energy field, the last time you felt fear, or terror, or apprehension, and let me know when you're ready. Okay, so let's move towards Kate again. Very powerful, isn't it? Just pulls it in, pulls it in. So we won't leave Kate like that, because Kate came out with a lovely, brilliant energy field, an auric field. So remember the last time you felt happy, gay, ebullient, full of energy, full of life energy, sorry. So I'm going to walk towards you. Okay, so we get, as soon as our mood lifts, our energy field goes and moves outwards. I'm going to just demonstrate something else that's pretty amazing. If you could stand a bit further over there, and I hope you can see from here, I'm going to ask everybody in the room to look towards Kate and send her kind and loving thoughts. Just look towards Kate and send her kind and loving thoughts. And all you have to do is just take it all in. Take it in. Okay, so I'm going to now see what that does to Kate's energy field. Okay, there's no doubt, as our thoughts are transferred, easily transferred, we can get a group of people sending energy. Imagine what Taylor Swift feels when she goes, she gets all these people doing her energy field just goes woof and expands enormously. So I guess thank you very much, Kate, and I'll leave you with that lovely buoyance and good feeling. So that was just simply to demonstrate that when we have an emotion, and indeed the preceding attitude that brings about the emotion. So, for example, an emotion of fear might be, you were programmed as a child and told don't go out at night because there might be strangers lurking. So as soon as you go out at night and you're walking down a dark street, you suddenly get fear, and we know fear attracts fear. So there's all that sort of energy, those energy repercussions. But the thing is that our energy field, driven by our attitudes and by our emotions, is actually what, like I said, which underpins our physical system. When I was a very fresh graduate from acupuncture college, I was invited to work in a combined clinic with a doctor down in Auchenflower there, and I was to go in and follow him around, and I'd give acupuncture to his elderly. He had a hospice full of elderly people that he was treating, and the thing that struck me like a bolt between the eyes was that all of these people, as I went around and spoke to them, their bodies were actually the emotions of their life were etched into their body shape. So, you know, looking at things like people who are skinny and thin, or those who have the big veranda over the lolly shop, you know, the big gut out here, or those people who are hollowed in the chest. So that's what we're going to talk about today, how the energy emotion of a lifetime, and indeed, midway through our lives, can impact so thoroughly and completely on the physical body that it's actually creating us as we go. It's powerful, isn't it? It's quite powerful stuff. So, all right. The other thing that I like to use is kinesiology. And kinesiology is an energetic treatment modality which actually picks up your inner knowing in your body. Like it's evident through the musculature of the body. So the musculature our body is more intelligent than our mind in actual fact, in reality. So it actually accesses, kinesiology accesses the inner creative intelligence of the body. So I just want to show you briefly again, and I just need another volunteer, somebody who'd be willing to volunteer. Thank you, lovely. And I'm going to show you how we can work, how the body records the effect of, say, a vibrational medicine on a particular emotional state. So we saw how the emotional state affects the energy field. Now we're going to look at how we can actually treat that. So if you wouldn't mind, yeah, thank you. I hope you can see. So just for demonstration purposes, I'm going to ask you to use your right arm. That's right. So hold your arm out here. Maybe we'll turn this way. Might be easier. Yep. So what we do is just test for that the muscles are correctly balanced. So meet my pressure. I'm going to put my pressure down. Yeah. So now I'm going to actually weaken those muscles manually. Meet my pressure again. Okay, so it's wobbling. The muscle's wobbling. So I'm going to now strengthen that up again. So meet my pressure again. Feel different? Can you feel the lock? Yeah. Okay. What's your name?
Amanda.
Amanda, sorry. Okay, so Amanda, I wonder if you would think about perhaps an emotional state that impacts you quite regularly. You don't have to disclose anything here. You just have to give it a name. If it's either fear or, muddle-headedness or powerlessness or whatever that is. So if you can just think about that, you've got that in your mind, can you give it a name?
Yep.
Yeah, will you give it a name to me?
Anxiety.
Yeah, okay, anxiety, okay. So let's see how that works. So I want you to hold those thoughts in your mind of anxiety. So just, okay, meet my pressure. Okay, so that's impacting the body quite strongly. And really, I'm doing it very lightly, okay? Okay, so I won't leave you there. I'm going to get an essence. And just bear with me for a minute. This is an essence for anxiety. called Macaranga. So I'm going to get you to hold that at your heart with your other hand. So take that thought again, and notice we've only taken it into her energy field. Hasn't even taken a drop or given an oral. Okay, so I'm going to ask you to think those anxious thoughts again. Okay, with more pressure. Okay. Got it pretty much holding. Just hold again, just do it again. I want to meet again, so meet my pressure. So that's holding now. Okay, take it away. Have those thoughts again. We see the difference. So, thank you. So, thank you very much. That's wonderful. Thanks. That's great. So, what I'm demonstrating is that vibrational strategies, when they're taken into the energy field, can actually have an instantaneous effect. Instantaneous. So let's move on and see what we're looking at. So some of the vibrational strategies that we might use might be flower essences, including spray mists. We might use crystal essences, which are actually great activators of the energy field. We might use acupuncture. We might use kinesiology, sound healing, breath work, meditation, and chakra therapy. So we've got a whole range of things that you can use in conjunct in your practice to assist your clients to actually optimise their emotional wellness, which then in turn acts, of course, in a preventative way. Now, to do that, I'm going to very briefly rush us through the chakras. So there are 7 major chakras encased in the body, and it's the central axis of the energy anatomy that underlies the physical body. It's laid in vibrational frequency from the base, where are the lower, slower vibrations, up all the way through to the crown, where there's the higher frequencies and higher frequencies. And each of the chakras govern specific functional systems in our body, but they also are associated with different psychological states and emotional states. So here we deal with, in heart chakra, we deal with the energy of the heart, loss, boundless joy, contentedness, and so on and so forth. Here we're dealing with sensations of feelings of disempowerment or empowerment. Do I feel confident in my world? Am I confident enough to stand up stand up wherever I am and be who I am, be me? So, and we get that, we go into down here, which is all about intimacy and our connection with intimacy, feeling connected at the intimate. Here we're about grounding, survival, how can I get by from day to day, what's my bank account look like, and so on and so forth. So each of the chakras has those concordances. So to diagnose those where the imbalances are, most of us have got chakra imbalances. Let's be honest, unless we're actually real. We do yoga every day and meditate and most of us develop some sort of chakra imbalances through our daily work because we either focus too much in one area or we don't focus in a certain other area, and so on and so forth. To diagnose them, we want to actually be able to see where those imbalances lie. Because what it does is provides us with an effective treatment pathway. Once we know where the imbalances lie, we've got something to work with. But also, it offers us insight into preventative strategies so that we can actually prevent that imbalance from magnifying and multiplying down the track so that the person ends up, with a heart attack because the heart chakra was out of whack for a long, long time. So beautiful, wonderful if we can diagnose it. And so treating at the subtle energy level then, in turn, will come back and impact on the physical body through the cellular, through the cells and so on. So today we're going to explore diagnosing and treating at the subtle energy levels to promote physical, psychological and emotional well-being. One of the first things we do is to look. We look at people, and our eyes are really very powerfully our connection to the world. I use a technique called the soft eye, and I'm going to ask you all to do soft eye in a moment. Soft eye is an open receptive gaze. It's more like the first one, the first gaze above, so first gaze above. So we half close our eyes, and I want you to do that now. Half close your eyes, and you'll notice that all the sharpness goes out of lines. You'll notice that sometimes you can even see mergence. You can see merging, I can see a whole group of people here which are, and I've got no discernment or differentiation between, oh, if I look hard-eye, I can see you. I can look hard-eye, I can see you. So we actually use the soft eye to be aware of our whole visual field. Oh, whoops, we've gone too far. And to take in the broader picture. It actually activates the parasympathetic nervous system, which is actually our deep internal knowing and the way that our body works intelligently on its own behalf. And it allows the possibility of seeing a person's energy. I can see auras when I do that. And that's through years of doing it, where you can actually see the energy field around a person. And it's often easier if you're up against a black background or a white background is the best, in actual fact, a pure white if you're practicing. But you can actually see it, and you can actually see just very, very gently. Another way to try it, or to start practicing it, is to look at the horizon, soft eye, and see the energy of lines around trees. It's really quite powerful. It's like when the tree becomes alive, and you see what we saw with Kate. You see that the tree doesn't end there on its discrete lines, it ends out here. That's the energy field, of course, as we know. Hard eyes, though, take us, we often can't see that when we're hard eyes, we're looking at the individual. Okay, we're mostly in hard eye because we've got to look at computer screens, we're looking at whether the bus is coming, we're looking at people in one-on-one. So often you can't see the forest for the trees when we're looking into the hard eye. So I suggest you always work with soft eye, at least at some time when your client comes in. You might put your glasses on so they don't notice, but have a look, see, and particularly when they walk in, because the first thing you'll see when they come in is their gait. What's their gait like? Is their gait confident, shuffling, hesitant, hyper, or is it slow? Look how they're walking through life. Okay, they might be just coming into your practice, but that will be habitually recorded in their gait, and so that will, you'll be able to pick that up or see that. Their posture, noticeable imbalances between left and right. You know, we've got right side that is logical, rational, left side emotional, intuitive. So we've got you have a look at people's shoulders. Many people are actually habitually their posture is like that. They walk around like that, or might be this. Might be what's the word? They more use their right side, or do they use their left side? Do they stand backwards a bit? You know, they're letting life rush by, blow by them. You know, they're not real participants in life. Or do they come forward? Is their neck forward like this? Are they rushing forward in life? These are things that you need to look for, and that you'll see readily as soon as you see a person. And you've been seeing it for all your lives, but it's just actually naming it and saying, yes, that's a methodology to diagnose the system. Look then at the shed, and we've got to there. I've gone too far again. I've gone too far. Posture, so those are the differences. The body shape. In TCM diagnosis, traditional Chinese medical diagnosis, we look at the three heaters, three divisions. There's the upper, the middle, and the lower. The upper heater is all about relationships. So look at the chest cavity. Is it swollen? Is it out here? Is that person rigid? Is it, like this? Is it actually collapsed? Does the heart collapse? This will be a person who's actually given up on love, or they're needy. They're very needy, and the heart. This is people who aren't needy. Walk around with the chest inflated like this and it's rigid. They're not needy. They don't need anyone in their world. So, and also, later on we'll look at body language, but how they use their arms, because that's where the heart chakra moves down through here. Middle is self-empowerment, like I mentioned before. It's caved in. I see a lot of young kids, young girls, and I think, oh darling, start eating, start building up start empowering yourself, because this is our power centre. When our power centre is strong, we can stand confident wherever we are and be who we are and not have people push us over. Okay? Nor, if we've got the big one, we're not pushing other people over, bullying other people, putting other people into pushing them out of our way through our personality. Because whatever you're seeing in the body is reflected in the personality. Okay? And specifically or particularly, if it's really etched deeply into the body. That's the personality that you're looking at in that posture. Here, this is all about intimacy, intimate relationships, and our security needs. You often see people who walk around like this. What are they doing? They're saying, I'm open to anyone. I'm not in any way making a judgment here, but I'm saying, prostitutes on the street corner, typically, with the pelvic bowl, Then there are those who say like that, walk around like that. And you kiss them like that. No body contact through here. They're the ones who have fear of intimacy, I'm saying in general. I'm talking about when these are fixed postures. I'm not making generalisations. But notice it. Notice how the pelvis is used. The pelvis is a wonderfully strong structure that actually holds the rest of the body up. The legs should be strong, okay, on the pelvis. The pelvis straight. In actual fact, in Qigong we tuck the bone a little bit, the tail bone in a little bit, and that gives us a lovely straight spine. But when we've got that here, back or here, we've got a big pressure on the lower back, and we're going to get the gate of life here, which is a very important point for our body energy. So these are things that you can observe, and you see them, you can just sit in the mall and watch people walk by. You'll see them. Facially, that same body division is reflected in the face. So we see this is heaven. So often when you see a lot of people with a lot of worry lines across here, they're actually not clear in their own mind. There's a lot of lack of clarity. Their thinking gives them stress, creates stress for them. Here is the digestive system. So look here, look at the lines, look at the, you can all come back with my face, classic example. But you can see stomach lines, that you'll see people with big lines, heavy lines down here. That's the stomach. The stomach and the digestive system is really needing to be supported, and so on. Some often see butterfly rashes or redness right across here, which is not a healthy red, but and that can indicate there's heating through that digestive system. Then we've got here, which is all the lower the lower heater, which is all about the kidneys and our physical strength, how well we use our physical strength, and also our openness to pleasure, all of this across here. So we look at that. A very strong square angular jaw will often indicate a lot of strength of will. You'll see people with a beautiful, strong, but then you'll see people with almost a foxy face, with look sharp, and probably they struggle with will issues. So we look at those sort of things. Okay, and the other thing is emotional responsiveness. How mobile is the face? Now, I will say that males and females are genetically underpinned or genetically wired at the biotemplate level to have different, not capacity is not the right word, different facility with face mobilisation. Women are much more expressive, you know, oh, I'm sad, oh, I'm happy. Whereas men will often have the expressionless mask because men have the template of being, I can't show my feelings, you know, can't show my emotions. Hopefully and happily, men are opening up much more with that. It was a very old, crippling paradigm that actually said men weren't allowed to feel their emotions and they couldn't cry, and so they had that expressionless mask. Now, and if you go back in the early days, in prehistoric times, all these things had very biological reasons, and perfect biological reasons. The man had to be out there and he had to deal with the other tribes. He had to actually be very still to catch his prey, and so his face, the emotions were never used. Women, on the other hand, had care of the children, and they had to be socially, and they had to ensure the social growth of their children, and so they were much more socially mobile, much more. So, and that's status. But just watch it, because happily, as I say, many men, their faces are opening up. It's a joy to see a man, you know, really smiling and showing his feelings without giving himself away. That's not giving himself away. But it's just a shift in paradigm. Then again, we've got the eyes. Look at the eyes. The eyes are window to the soul. It's an old saying, but we look at eye contact. If somebody contacts you with the eye, they've got a good, clear, what we call a shed. They're actually open to look to other people. It's the shifty eye, you know, not looking everywhere but, and you talk to them and they're talking to you, but they're looking at everywhere else. There's something happening there. So, and often, because the eye is the window to the soul, it's telling us that that person has a deep, perhaps, sense of lack of self-worth. You know, they're not able to meet you in the eye. But all those old sayings are very, very important. So the hands then, are they open and expressive, or are they hidden? You know, do they keep their hands hidden? They keep their hands hidden, or do they use their hand? Which hand do they use most? Right hand, which is more logical, more rational and logical, or the left hand, which is more expressive, you know, which is more emotional. Have a look at those things. Those things really tell you the story. This person, the story of that person is told in their body. Power issues, I talked about that, the big veranda over the lobby shop, and they, you know, they usually, they like to, very often there's a fear of losing control, so I'll put a protection up over my power centre, and I can boss people around. That makes me feel like I'm safe and in control. Whereas this capital C shape that I call it, you know, we've got literally, there's a curve, a postural curve, which sits in here, and you've all seen it. You've seen it, people? Yeah. And that's generally, that's the person who's very unsure of themselves, who have power issues. They probably easily over-influenced by others. They probably, whoever they go to speak to, they come back and speak in that language or speak those people's ideas, just easily over-influenced because they haven't got this strong centre. This is where the aura actually derives from in the body. The energy field derives from the actual solar plexus chakra, the strength of the energy, of the aura, I should say. Hips, all about their stabilisers. I talked to you about that before. Forward, over-seeking intimacy, held back, withdrawn from intimacy, tight, fixed attitudes. You know, you see people, look at the way people walk. That comes back to that, but you know, some people walk like this. Very rigid, very stiff in their ideas. you'll say something to them and they will say, no, it's this way, That's how it is. Very fixed and often very hard to have a conversation with when you've got differences of opinion. And loose hips, the person who walks really loose, often quite loose in life, or they might have loosely held convictions about life and might, the one way it is, sometimes I follow this principle, next time, I might go this way. So look at it, watch it, it's really important. And like I said before, you get a great view when you sit in the mall and look or in the shopping centre and look at people walking by, and you start to pick. Fine. I'm not being judgmental here. Okay, so we've gone here. So here we then start to really engage that psychic seeing, and the overburdened person, you'll see them if you actually. Once you actually start to employ that soft eye, you'll see somebody who comes in. They look like they're carrying the world on their shoulders, they're overburdened. So, I've got family, I've got jobs, I've got this and I've got that. And it's actually this can often be a biodynamic stance that's taken up right from early in life. So the child has been overburdened by the parent. Who has to take all the responsibility. And they end up growing up feeling they've got to take responsibility for the world. And we have underburden with the sloping shoulders. No shoulders, like people with no shoulders. And very often, often they find it hard to take responsibility. They skip through the cracks, and don't even say, I'm up for that, I'll do that. So look at the shoulders, they're very important, I'll tell you a lot.
Thanks, guys.
Sorry, this one. Yeah, the legs. Okay, so the legs again, I've said all that. But look at them, they're big, heavy, solid legs, and the energy displacement is down in the lower. So these people plod along through life, and often it's like walking through mud. The undersized, really undersized legs, somebody's easily blown off in life, and they'll fly off like a dandelion flap, they'll just disappear. So you can, they're pushovers, real pushovers. Solid. You can't push, you choose your match. And you choose your match by actually honing your psychic seeing. The shuffles, unsure, lacking confidence. Now, I'll tell you a personal story. My partner in life is a strong man. He's done a lot of gardening and big gardening jobs, and strong. Recently had a stroke. The stroke just knocked him. His body's back on track, his legs working, everything's working again. Confidence. His whole confidence is gone. Now when I'm with him, I say, Stephen, no, stride out, because he's unsure, and he's suddenly become an old man. So he won't mind me saying that. You'll never really think so. But we're on our way. We're using flower essences with him, but he finds it great. He finds them wonderful. But the knees. What are the knees about? When we hold the knees locked like that, we're locking our will. The knees are about the will, and so we know that in religious tradition, we genuflect to the overseeing power. So the knees are all about bending our will. The person who easily gives up their own part in life, their own will be the person who has knee problems, knee issues, and so on and so on. So feet anchoring and balancing. Flat is can be overgrounded, stuck in 3D. Tiny, not a very firm grip on the earth. Again, they could be blown over. Large, very grounded. And the person who walks around tippy-toe, have you ever seen people like that? I mean, really ungrounded, like a fairy tale reality sort of thing. You'll find that you may find, I'm not saying you always, you may find it. The voice, very important, the voice. The voice, because we're working with vibrational medicine, the voice is actually a vibrational tool, works through vibration. So it gives you the vibrational resonance of the person, deep and gravity. They might be either strong, grounded, or too grounded. Childlike, often they're childlike, they're unrealised dreams. They often occupy the fantasy realms. People talk about, you know, an adult, fully grown adult with a fully grown body. The stutters, nervous, thank you, white coat, you know, that nervous and kind of people of authority, that's that old syndrome. They can't walk with confidence into to anybody who has any profession or any sort of status. Forceful, controlling, deeply insecure, often angry. Whining, this is happening to me, I can't believe it. Whining voice, and they're whining all the time. They're the victims, fast you can hear it. And they're usually hypomanic, isolated, stuck in their head. Right? And all time sad. That voice is resigned and powerful. So listen to the voice, it's a powerful indicator of what's going on. Touch. With those people who are working with in touch therapy, hot red areas, patchy skin, swollen, means the energy is hyperactive or overactive in that area. The opposite, if it's cold, pallid, bloodless, thin, that's underactive. There's no chi flow there, and you need to, you know, as a massotherapist, you need to pummel that a bit, get the energy flowing again, bring the energy into that area. The client who's hypersensitive to touch is very painful. Often there might be energy holding there, or there might be a muscle memory that needs to be addressed. And you can do that with some of the vibrational strategies. Past trauma that they're holding in that particular area. Some childhood programming that they haven't worked through and released and let go yet, or updated or outgrown it. Or a subconscious fixed attitude, all of which can be sort. With practitioner sensitivity, when I'm talking about feeling with your hands, so tingling, warm electrical sensation in the hands or the body, and where you feel it, often, you know, I'll feel it right on the meridian, you know, working, starts to tingle, into your starts to tingle. Or you might get a sensation in the heart when you're working. That little something there. And put your hands here and you'll get the validation. So they're flagging you to listen to your intuition. But your intuition will tell you. So intuition is the sum total of your organoid. Like I said before, your body has divine intelligence. It's amazingly intelligent when we listen to it. Our intuition is born from our body knowing and our body intelligence. So we could have that as a gut feeling, as an inner vision, as you're working on somebody and just see something. You might see a child being slapped, and so that's where you're a line where you can go with the line of questioning. Your inner voice might say a word to you, or your intuitive understanding, which bypasses logical reasoning. Sometimes I'll be working and I'll see a whole person's life unfold in front of me, just here. It'll take downloads, it'll take, happens very quickly. You don't have to labour on it. You see something happening, you go, follow that through. It's It's beautiful. So remembering always to come from the heart rather than the head. But as soon as you start going down the winding pathway of your head, you can lose the, you lose track and you get into your own ego stroking. Or using a pendulum. I brought one with me. Pendulum, very woo-woo, according to mainstream medicine, but literally it's your body telling you, giving you the answers. One day, I'll do a pendulum workshop because it's lots of fun. Who uses a pendulum? Absolutely. Great fun. All right, so very quickly. Kinesiology, I talked about that. It's a wonderful, you just need to learn an indicator muscle. And the deltoid is a great indicator muscle. And anybody who wants to see how easy it is to use it, I'll show you afterwards outside. And it accesses your body's intelligence. And practitioner-based kinesiology can use kinesiology to validate therapeutic interventions. So if you think, oh, this person needs that flower essence, we'll do what we did with Amanda. We actually test them. Okay, that's right. I was right. Or they'll give you, they'll say, I think I'd like this, test it. Same with supplements. You can do the same with supplements. It's fantastic. You've got a really quick indication whether you're giving the person the right supplement. So I'm not going to go through these. These are just looking at the third, chakras, and then looking at some of the emotionals, the meridian that goes with it, the emotions, the psychological drive that goes with that, and then the spiritual attitude that affects. You can get that if you get the course, you'll be able to get that. And here's just some further examples of some of the attitudinal distortions that can take place, and that we all live with. We all live with attitudinal distortions. It's just a matter of cultivating an observer to make sure that we allow us to move through our body really quickly. I've got to go now. So the best way, the way that I find to be fabulous is to work with flower essences, because like I said before, you can target, pinpoint, write down, and you can give them to clients to take home after your treatment, or you can use them in treatment. I've described that in detail in the last two presentations I gave, but because they do address softly, gently, but very powerfully, effectively. They address imbalances or negativity. They support and strengthen and empower us to come up to optimal levels of expression. And they enable us to acknowledge feelings and mental qualities that need to be awakened, resolved, or transformed. So some of the ways that I work with those is chakra alignment. Use chakra essences. You know, if you can work out that a chakras are balanced, use that essence. Applying keywords. So if there's a word that comes up that needs where that person needs to be addressed on the attitudinal or emotional level, look at the keywords. We have keywords in. I'm not going to talk about that, but I'll talk to you about that later. Kinesiology, testing the essences of each sermon, using a pendulum, or accessing your client's own inner knowing, allowing them to tell you to pick an essence out of the box, or to pick an essence from a picture, you know, from one of the posters, and yeah, that's it. So thank you very much. Before I go, I just want to say we do have some ANTA specials on. So we've got a stall out there. Buy any 2 chakra spray mists and receive a third free. That's only available today. But then if you have a look, there's a special that goes until the 7th of April, and there's 10% off all essences and lists on the website. The kits aren't included, but if you're interested in taking a kit into your practice, then we have 50, if you use the code, you get $50 off the kit. And then if you do the level 1 practitioner course, it's Flower Essences 101, that's also $50 off. So you basically kit and course, you get $100 off. So just by doing the training. Thank you very much.
So are there any, we've probably got time for a couple of quick questions. Are there any questions for Annie? Anyone might have?
Hi Annie, lovely to see you again.
Hello. See you.
Could we just go back to that last slide, the slide before? I missed that, the one with the coloured bars, please. I'm an acupuncturist and
Oh, yeah.
person as well, so I understand. Thank you.
I'll talk to Kate and see if we can get some, photocopied sheets of those charts.
Oh, thank you.
See if the charts will be available, because they're very useful.
Thank you very much. No, that's the one back.
There it is now.
That one. Thank you. Thank you. You know, that's great. Thank you. That's helpful. Great.
Andy, thank you. Really value what you've shared and honour your wisdom. When you did the demonstration with Amanda, the volunteer, was that essential oil or flower essence? And it didn't need to be out of the bottle, right? Can you talk more about that?
Well, because we're working on the energy field, and the energy field can go depending on what our say mind is, the time, our energy field can be right out here, or the vehicles, but running tight. No matter what, we still work on the energy field. So just by taking it into your energy field, in that instance, you get the positive response. You saw when I took it out, it was so when we take it on a regular basis, then that's over time, over a couple of weeks, that helps to resolve that attitudinal emotional imbalances. The other thing, just a quick one, the sprayness is what you. So that's how the sprayness works. And use the sprayness, which has got flowers in it, and as well. But that actually goes into the energy field, that goes through the meridians, into the body, into the chakras, and then that's shining to the vibration. So it's amazing, it goes where it needs to go, the body does everything.
Thanks Annie. So if there are any other questions, so you can ask them during morning tea. So we've got 20 minutes for morning tea. It's going to be served just at the back of the room, back inside of the room, and I'm assuming they're just coming now. So we'll see you back at 11:05. Thank you.